Do you have to make a decision and you can't choose yes or no? Today's reading is going to help give you clarity, so stick around. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Leesa. I am a certified tarot consultant whose goal is to help you navigate your life by using the power of the tarot and in general make your life amazing. And on this channel, I do pick-a-card readings, tarotscope readings, general tarot videos overall, and I'm so glad that you're here. So let's jump right into it. Today, guys, we are looking at trying to help you make up your mind. So you have a question and you want to ask, should I do this thing? Yes or no? And so the goal today is to make sure that you are leaving here with some good insights into what that path looks like for you, how it's going to impact your heart, how it's going to impact your head, some general guidance as to maybe what direction you should go. And then at the end, we're going to do an oracle reading just to give you a little bit more information about what advice the universe has for you. So if you are new to pick-a-card readings, then understand that you're going to use your intuition while I am working with the cards. So at the very start, what I need you to do is get into a fuzzy headspace, take a quick minute to slow your breathing, and in just a quick second, I'm going to give you a choice to make. So, of course, we're looking at that yes, no. Hopefully you can leave here with more clarity around what needs to be done. So, I am going to show you here 3 stones, and what I need for you to do is take a look and decide which one of these 3 stones is speaking to you today. So the first one I have is a Lapis Lazuli, right there. I have a chunk of Citrine, and I have an Amethyst. Okay, so hopefully you have taken a quick minute to slow down, your head is clear, and you are ready to make a decision. So take a look at these 3. Which card speaks to you today? Okay, so now that you've decided, we're going to jump into the reading. I'm going to start with the Lapis Lazuli. So if you chose the Citrine or the Amethyst, you are going to want to slide the video to that point. I'll put those chapters and those timestamps below. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the Lapis Lazuli. All right, so for those of you that chose this beautiful Lapis Lazuli, I love, by the way, how you can see that gold just on this one side. I think it's so pretty. For those of you that chose that, we're going to start today just by looking at this oracle card. And it is bringing up this concept of strategy. So you have to make a decision. Should you do something or should you choose something, yes or no? And I'm getting first and foremost this idea that you need to make sure that you are being very strategic in the way that you are considering your options and moving forward. So what we are going to do, guys, is we are first going to look at what this path is going to feel like when you are on it. So I'm going to make 2 rows here, the top and the bottom. The top card is going to be for yes, the bottom card is going to be for no, and we are going to see if you make that decision, yes or no, what will that path feel like for you. And by the way, guys, let me know in the comments down below that you are with this Lapis Lazuli group. Have you started, what has your strategy been like in this, this thought process so far? It'd be interesting to see what you put there and to maybe find other people that are in this group as well. Okay. So what will yes feel like? What will no feel like? Okay, so with the yes, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups reversed. So this, guys, generally this Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, these are really fantastic cards, especially from a very practical viewpoint. I mean, look at this person sitting here, very opulent surroundings, beautiful bird there. They're just lounging in luxury. And then, of course, with the Ace of Pentacles, just surrounded by these coins. Okay, so when I see these two things, it's going to feel, there's going to be a very real tactile feel to this. And it could deal with money. The coin suit deals a lot with money, but it also deals with those very earthly things, those very practical matters. On the flip side, I do see the Ace of Cups reversed. So for me, seeing you walk this path of yes, whatever yes is for you, there's going to be an emptying of cups for you. So emotionally draining here. Something's going to be emotionally draining while at the same time it will lift you up in regards to money or possessions or earthly matters, but draining you and drawing upon your emotional resources. So that is what yes will feel like. No. All right. So Page of Wands reverse, King of Swords, Knight of Swords. Very interesting. So I'm seeing very, what is going to be a very internal situation here for you. When I see a lot of court cards, I generally read that as being very internal. The Knight oftentimes is, look at him, he's totally ready to go. So moving ahead, moving forward. The King of Swords, is a very practical-minded, very solid decision maker. But with the Page of Wands reversed, I almost get a sense of, especially with this Knight, a sense of recklessness. So if you decide to move with no, go with no, whatever this question is for you, the answer is no, you move forward. What's going to happen is I almost feel like there will be a sense where you feel in control, but you feel as though you might lose that control over any time. So you feel as though this is the right way to go. You think that's what you should be doing. You're ready to move forward, but it's going to feel a little tenuous the whole way. So whatever no is for you, there's going to be that sense of, always kind of watching your back, so to speak. All right, so let's take a look at what this is going to, how this is going to impact your head and how this is going to impact your heart specifically. I wanted to look at those two things. And depending on who you are and depending on what your question is, that could matter more or less, how it's going to impact your heart and your head. Okay, so if you choose yes, wow, if you choose yes, you're going to feel really solid down the line. We're talking in the future. So this is the path as you're walking it, but down the line, ultimately, this is going to lead to a lot of clear focus. It's going to lead to you feeling really good and feeling as though you got the very best out of that situation mentally. That is what I'm seeing there. Heart-wise, you are going to feel as though you're in a place where everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. You're going to feel very comfortable there. These two cards together are great, guys. So, head-wise, heart-wise, it's going to be very positive for you. Down the line, a yes answer will bring you to something that is ultimately going to feel really good. All right. Interesting. So we have the King of Swords. Now we have the Queen of Swords. So mentally, head-wise, this is going to feel, if you go with no, remember, these are two different options. Mentally, you're going to feel like, once again, you've made a good decision. You're going to feel like you have your stuff together, so to speak. I think in the beginning, it's going to take much more force. There's a lot more force and a lot of energy to move this forward, whatever this no is. But down the line, you're going to feel more comfortable in that decision mentally, and you're not going to have to push so hard. It's almost going to come to you. You see here, here's actually the Starman, and this is the Starman Tarot. If you guys haven't seen this, I do have a walkthrough for this that is really fun. It goes behind the background of this particular deck. So, and yes, that does look like David Bowie. So, all right, so with the Starman reversed, guys, very similar to the Fool card in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. So heart-wise, it almost looks as though you feel like you're missing out on something. Something is missing here. Whatever this no is, that's going to take a little while for that to leave your heart in regards to something that you were hoping to do or hoping to see. Okay, so not going to sit quite so comfortably there, I think, on the no side. Now, just a bit of guidance here for you in terms of, you know, if someone could come down from above with a big horn or a telephone or whatever and just give you a little bit of advice. What would they say? Okay, so Four of Wands, Four of Cups reversed. Okay, so there is going to be this is not bad. I'm getting some mixed signals though here with this. I am seeing that, you know, ultimately this is going to be a pretty steady and secure route if you go with yes. I'm seeing a lot of happiness there. The Four of Wands is a great card. It's a cause for celebration. But the Four of Cups reversed, depending on where you set mentally and where, you know, for each individual person, and this is, you know, reading for the collective, you know, some of you are going to be struggling a little bit here with, you know, maybe some, you know, light depression or some more mental health issues where things are drawing you down. While I see some of you are going to actually be able to start opening up to people in ways that you have not done before. And so I'm getting kind of a mixed message with this particular card. But ultimately, the Four of Wands is a great card, and it's a good card for celebration. So I think the advice with this is really just saying, hey, there's a lot of fantastic opportunities on the yes path, but you just need to just be very mindful of where your head is going to be and where your emotions are going to be. Now, looking down here, let's see here, okay. So we have the Tower reversed, we have the King of Cups reversed, and with this, I see this idea of not moving forward when you should be moving forward. So I don't know what this no is for you, but I almost see that you're going to be stuck in place and that there may be a level of manipulation going on either from an outside source and an outside person, or it could be you actually trying to manipulate yourself into a way to where you maybe are convincing yourself, hey, things are better than maybe they are. So I think if you go with the no, that message would be very clearly, be careful that you're not getting stuck. So one last piece, guys, I do want to move forward with the concept of how should you move forward in this decision. And I'm going to go ahead and get these shuffled up for you, but I'm moving that to the end of the video. So just slide forward, skip ahead to that, and I'll meet you there. All right, let's move to those of you that chose the beautiful citrine. And we have the World reversed. Okay, so for many of you going into this decision-making process, I am seeing that you are not looking at the whole picture, the total picture. You might be focusing on your tiny little space and missing how it might fit into the larger picture and the larger scheme of things. So make sure that you are keeping that in mind as you are making this decision. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm starting to shuffle here just to let you know how this is going to go. On the top, I'm going to have some cards for if you choose yes in this decision, and at the bottom, if you choose no. And I would suggest too, guys, you know, let me know just from this first beginning while you're going through the rest of this video, let me know that you chose the citrine, and let me know if you have been looking at the bigger picture while you've been trying to make a decision with this, or if that has been something that you've been struggling with. It'd be interesting to see what those of you in the citrine group are thinking. So this very first set of cards, guys, we're going to take a look at what this is going to feel like, what this path is going to feel like for you while you are walking this. So if you choose yes, what will that feel like going into the future? And no, what will that feel like going into the future? So let's start here. Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Cups reversed, Lovers reversed. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, guys, is a big juxtaposition between what we have right in front of us or for you and what you have actually feeling inside. So when I see the Lovers reversed, I see very much this concept of being torn away or taken away from something that is really important to you. Okay, with the Queen of Cups reversed, that can be this idea of disillusionment. It could be this idea of being lost in your own head, okay, being lost in not being able to make sound decisions or not being able to think appropriately, just too much in your head. And that could very much come from this concept of being pulled away from things. However, the Ace of Pentacles is generally a very good card. It speaks to new opportunities, generally very good opportunities and sort of pivoting opportunities, things that you can really take advantage of. But these two cards are oftentimes very emotionally head-based, and this is a very real physical thing. So with this, I'm seeing this idea that, hey, you know, as you're moving forward, there's going to be some tangible things where you can say, hey, yes, was a good decision, but internally, it's going to take you away from some things that you really loved, and you're going to have a difficult time getting that in your head, like what makes sense for me. Now, if you go no, okay, so we have the Tower card. We have Justice reversed. And we have the Three of Cups reversed. Okay, so, wow. If you go with no, there will be some things that are going to be torn down. And it's going to be painful, guys. Now, this might be very necessary. Sometimes a path, oftentimes a path, is a very necessary path to take, even if it hurts. So I'm seeing here, things are going to be torn down that probably should have been torn down a while ago, but it's going to be some sort of institution. This could be something mentally, but more likely it's going to be something that is something systemic, something that's external, that's outside, that's pulling down around you. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect other people around you. They're not necessarily going to be happy. And for you, you are going to feel an awful lot like maybe the bad guys won in this particular instance. So that is a difficult path to take. Now, whether or not that's the right path to take is something that you will have to determine. Obviously, it depends on the situation. So let's look at how this is going to impact your head and how it will impact your heart. Okay. All right, so if you choose yes, how is this going to impact your head? If you make this decision and say yes is the way to go, and this is a little bit further down the line, guys. So we're moving ahead along the time stream. How is this going to impact you? In the end, I think this is going to lead to a lot of mental confusion, and it's going to lead to you trying to juggle a lot of things, but very unsuccessfully. So almost like you have too much in your head and you're having a hard time and struggling with this, whatever this thing is. Now, of course, that's mentally. Nine of Cups flipped over here on its head in the heart side. So this right here indicates to me that within your heart, within your spirit and internally, you feel as though what you thought you wanted is not, either you get what you asked for and it's not ultimately what you wanted and you know that, or you're missing out on what you truly wanted. So whatever yes is for you, it looks like it's going to lead to some definite stress and some feelings of loss and missing out on things down the line. All right, looking at the head. Wow. Okay. You will not be able to, if you go with no and the answer, if you say, hey, the answer is no, down the line, you're going to feel like either you've been betrayed or that there's been some sort of trick played upon you, or that somewhere along the line someone's got the better of you. Now, this is going to be in your head. This is going to be mental, okay? Heart-wise, Two of Cups reversed. Wow, guys, this must be a very... I'm not getting a fun feeling off of either one of these options. So I'm not surprised that you're here trying to come up with a decision, because it looks like neither one of these are easy or really great. So with the Two of Cups being reversed, but in the heart space here, how is this affecting your heart? This ultimately is going to pull you away from a relationship or a person or a passion that you had that you were really hoping to hold on to. And it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like it hurts. And It's not going to be something that you're going to easily be able to get rid of. And at the same time, you know, mentally, and this could be connected or disconnected, it doesn't have to be the same thing. You're going to feel perhaps a sense of betrayal or like you were losing out on something. So definitely a difficult path. Now, if there was someone that could come down the line and, you know, come back from the future and say, hey, let me give you a little bit of advice here, I want to know what they would go ahead and say to you. So let's see that real quick here. Okay. So if you go with yes. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Empress reversed here as well. This, down the line, we already said kind of how this is feeling. If I could give you a bit of advice from these two things put together, I would say, I want to say follow your gut, but the piece of advice that I'm getting here that's coming through is that sort of this argument or this idea that you did not follow taking care of yourself and doing what you knew was right for you. And that ultimately is going to lead you into down this path. But I don't see it as, this is a tough set of cards, guys. It's basically leading you to an endpoint where you are going to feel as though you're not in control, you're not being taken care of. If we look down here, if you go with the no, okay, this is going to be a bit better here. So we have the Queen of Wands, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This, I think, has a better long game option for you. I'm seeing, you know, with the Queen of Wands, she's definitely one who feels very comfortable in her power. The Knight of Pentacles, he's not one who's there to rush forward quickly, but he feels steady with where he's at and he's ready to move forward and is willing to move forward as time moves on. This to me seems like a more positive message, and it is saying, hey, you are going to get there to a place where you feel really good. Just make sure and that you understand that it's going to take a little bit of time. So the last bit of advice I have for you guys is basically, what attitude do you need to have when you sit down to actually make this decision? And I'm going to do that with one final pull at the end. Go ahead and scoot forward in the video. The timestamp will be right down there in the description box, and I'll see you there. All right, moving to the Amethyst. And I love Amethyst, guys. It's actually in my wedding ring, but which is fairly unique. I don't know a lot of people that have Amethyst in their wedding ring, but if this is you, let's see what we have. Okay, so we have the card of deceit, which tells me that most likely with you making a decision here, there's really two options. This could be you deceiving yourself, or it could be someone else deceiving you while you were trying to make this decision. So what this is going to look like, guys, I'm going to go ahead and deal 2 rows. One will be the path forward if you go with yes, I should do this thing, or I should choose yes, whatever this option is for you. The bottom will be no. And we are going to take a look at what this path will feel like, how it's going to impact you, what type of advice we have for you. Okay. And by the way, guys, if you did choose the Amethyst, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you are not feeling as though you are being tricked or deceived. But if that's the case and you are already aware of that, I would love to know, like, hey, I am fully aware that this is already going on. That's part of the reason I'm here, to get a little bit more clarity. So if you think that you're tricking yourself or that someone else is, maybe someone else in that Amethyst group can give you some advice. All right, so if you decide to go with yes, what is that going to feel like as you are walking through that? And this is really interesting, guys, because when I see, first of all, when I see the moon, I see a lot to deal with hidden things, hidden situations. The King of Cups to me is often a card of manipulation and deceit, which is really interesting because it's coming right on the tail of this. The Nine of Swords reversed, though, is actually great because you can see this person coming out from behind these swords, almost like they are emerging from a fog or something that's been really bad. And that's oftentimes what we see with the 9 is, you know, you're coming out of something that has been really difficult. So what I'm seeing for you, if you decide to go with yes, the path forward is, it's gonna almost feel as though there are a lot of things being hidden from you. There are things that you don't know that you wish you knew, that maybe feel as though people that you trusted and thought you could trust are maybe not being entirely truthful with you, but it is going to get better. And down the line, you're going to figure out some things. The moon, especially being upright, there is something about the moon where it can hide things, it can keep things hidden, but at the same time, guys, the moon is cyclical and things have their cycle and their time. And so I'm seeing that in the beginning, it's gonna be more foggy, I guess, than it will be as you get towards the end. Now, if you decide to go with no, so whatever your question is, the path forward, if you choose no, we have the 3 of Cups reversed, we have the Tower reversed, or the Tower upright. This is really interesting, guys, because I shuffled the heck out of these things between, between each card, and these 2 cards actually showed up for one of the other groups. So that's really interesting because it's telling me that this is a very common theme moving forward for a lot of people. The Tower card oftentimes indicates something big in your life that is being torn down and that definitely needs to come down. It's usually not something internal, it can be, but oftentimes we're talking about systemic things. We're talking about things around you that potentially other people have built up. And definitely in regards to the 3 of Cups being flipped on its head, I'm seeing a lot of unrest with the people that are around you. Now the Queen of Wands, I mean, look how confident she is here. I mean, the Queen of Wands is a fantastic card, and it means that as you're walking through this path, even as things are perhaps crumbling down around you and you might have to break connections off with people, you're going to feel really good about where you're at because you are going to know that where you're at is where you need to be. So this looks pretty chaotic, but at the same time, it looks like it's a space where you can feel very comfortable in. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at what is going to be going on in your head in the long run and what is going to be going on in your heart in the long run. So if we progress the timeline a bit more, ultimately, how is this going to impact your head? All right, 8 of Swords. Okay, also really, really interesting, guys, because we have the 9, here we have the 8, both of them reversed. If these were upright, these would definitely be more difficult cards, but when they're flipped like this, it is an emergence. Excuse me. It is you coming out of something. It is you breaking bonds, coming out of a foggy head, all of these things. So down the line, if we fast forward this time period even longer, even more forward, mentally, you're going to feel really good. You might feel more clear-headed than you have felt in a really long time if you go with the yes option. Now, on the flip side, I have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So heart-wise, Ace of Pentacles reversed, guys, deals an awful lot with missing out on opportunities. So there is something that you will be leaving behind if you go with yes, and it is still going to sting in emotionally and heart-wise down the line, and that's not going to go away for a while. So whatever that thing is that you know right now, you know probably that this thing you're going to have to give up, whatever that is. If you go with yes, that's still going to sting down the line, but you're going to feel pretty clear-headed. It's a good option. How is the Tower shown up again? Wow. Okay. So here it is in this deck, Revelations Tarot. Here it is in the Starman Tarot. Mentally. Okay, so I had said to you that things are going to be pulled down around you, especially because I'm seeing this very communal card. This idea of pulling things down, pulling institutions down around you. Mentally down the line, I think it's going to take a long time for this to come and work its way out. When the Tower is torn down, when whatever this thing is that is torn down is raised to the ground, we have to rebuild. And so mentally, this process of rebuilding is going to take a long time. With it being upright though versus being reversed, I'm seeing it more as a very positive thing. So What that means is either you are going to go into it with a positive mindset, or you're going to know ultimately, hey, this is difficult, but ultimately it's the best thing for me. I also see with the Seven of Cups here in the heart space, your heart is going to be really, really open to a lot of new possibilities and options. So this, I almost see for this one, if you go with no, whatever no is, it is going to, down the line, actually open the way up to a lot of things for you, a lot of options. And something's going to change, big changes, whatever that is. And of course, depending on the nature of your question, if you're asking, what should I have for breakfast? Or should I eat pancakes for breakfast? Okay, these are not earth-shattering questions, but depending on the nature of your question, and by the way, if you are truly here for should I have pancakes for breakfast, please let me know, because that would be the absolute best guess ever. And a very ridiculous reason to go find a pick a card reading. But if you have, whatever your question is focused on, the Tower is about tearing stuff down. Okay, so it'd be interesting to kind of see what that is for the future for some of you. Now, if I could zap myself back from the future, or if someone could, if anything could, and give you some advice, what would that advice look like? So if you're going the yes route, oh wow, okay, there is the opportunity, guys, here, and you have the Chariot and you have the World, and these are just really positive cards. Talk about taking control over your life. If you go with yes, there's going to be this opportunity, even though, in the beginning, it's going to feel fuzzy. It's going to be maybe a little bit confusing. You're going to be dealing perhaps with some manipulation and some deceit. In the end, I think down the line, the long run, there's going to be a level of control that you have over your life that you're going to feel that you can take and do. Now, if we go this route here, okay, now this is interesting because we have the King of Wands reversed here. Well, we had the Queen of Wands upright here. And with the King of Wands reversed and the Lovers reversed, there's going to be breaking. I'm just seeing a lot of separation here. Lovers reversed tells me, guys, that you're breaking from something that had meant or could mean something really, really important to you. And with the King reversed, I think the advice here that I'm seeing, if someone could give advice to you at this point, is basically saying that the thing that I don't want to say the thing that you want. Be mindful that just because you are going into a situation and you think you know what that situation is going to bring, and you think you are walking into something where you are going to get what you want, it may not always happen that way. And so I'm getting this idea that you really need to keep an open mind and understand that if things are being torn down, something else is going to fill them. It just may not be the thing that you had expected it was going to be. Okay, so I want to do one more poll on what type of mindset you should have as you move into this, but I'm going to do that at the end of the video, so it will be for everyone. So I need you to just slide forward just a tick, and I will meet you there for the last poll. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one of these three you chose. We are going to get into the last card here. I want to know what type of mindset you should have moving into making this decision. And by the way, if you didn't let me know which one of these stones you pulled or decided on, make sure that you include that down below. And if you like tarot-related videos, please go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell. I definitely want to have you as part of the community. I post at least once a week and would love to have you there. So let us see what guidance we have here. What mindset should you have? So you're trying to decide yes or no. Okay. Oh, I love bats. I think they're adorable. Okay, so Bat Spirit says a rebirth is assured. So the mindset that you have to have going into this, some of you are wondering right now, if I make a decision, yes or no. Some of you know already I'm sorry, I'm getting two different things going on in my head at the same time. I need to slow them down. Okay. Some of you already know the answer that you should choose, but you're scared to take it because it's going to cause dramatic changes in your life. And this card for Bat Spirit, let me just get his cute little face up there for you. He is reminding you that the rebirth is happening all the time. Changes are happening all the time. We don't need to be scared of them. go forward with them, understand that they're going to be there, and move ahead. The other message that I'm getting just has to do with this concept of, hey, if you have to make a choice, yes or no, remember that the person that you're going to be at the end of that choice, whatever that is, if that's a week or 6 months or a year from now, the person you are then is not going to be the same person you are now. And the experiences that we have along the way are those things that shape us into the people that we are. So just keep in mind that every decision that you're making is building the person that you are going to be in the future. At the same time, don't be afraid of anything that might be there in terms of a rebirth. And that's it for today's reading. If it resonated with you, be sure to hit that like button. And once again, subscribe, click the bell. I'd love to hear from you on what type of reading you want to hear from next, so leave your suggestion. Thanks again for hanging out with me, guys. I'll see you next time.